Ever feel like you're dragging, even after you hit that snooze button a few times? We're going to dive deep into why sleep matters this week, how it affects everything from our health to how our brains work.
It's really interesting how many people I talk to, they just don't realize that sleep is way more than just like not being tired.
Right, it's got to be more than just like recharging your batteries, right?
Totally. We're talking about major health benefits, even your waistline.
We dug into research from some big names too, the Mayo Clinic, Harvard, you name it. And let me tell you, some of this stuff is eye-opening.
Yeah, for sure. It really makes you see sleep in a whole new light, doesn't it?
One of the things that really struck me, the Mayo Clinic said 1 in 25 people have actually fallen asleep while driving.
Oh, absolutely. And the CDC, they've actually done studies. It's like driving, how do they put it? Oh, right. Driving drowsy is basically the same as driving under the influence.
Whoa, really? Seriously?
Yeah, staying awake for like more than 18 hours straight.
Yeah.
Like having, get this, a blood alcohol content of 0.05%.
No way. That's wild. So, like, even one night of bad sleep could be dangerous.
Basically, yeah. And there was this other study from 2018. They found that people who were sleep deprived way more likely to get into a car accident. It's scary stuff.
Okay, so we're all clear on the driving thing, no more all-nighters. But I want to look at this in a positive light, you know? The University of Michigan, they said sleep is like one of the 3 pillars of health alongside like diet and exercise. It's right up there.
Absolutely, it's essential. But here's the thing, right? It's not just about how many hours you're clocking in. It's about how well you're sleeping. The quality of that shut-eye.
Oh, so it's like choosing the right fuel for your body, not just filling up the tank.
Exactly. And that's where this whole sleep architecture thing comes in. Ever heard of it?
Not really. Is that like building a pillow fort for maximum sleep comfort? Kidding, kidding.
But
No.
seriously, what is it?
Okay, so think of it like climbing a mountain, all right?
Okay, I like where this is going. I'm picturing a comfy sleeping bag at the summit.
So light sleep, right? That's like you're just starting your hike, you're in the foothills.
Yeah.
Then deep sleep, that's base camp. Your body's recovering, muscles repairing, all that good stuff.
Sounds amazing, actually. I could use some of that deep sleep base camp vibes. Right. And then the peak, the summit. That's REM sleep. That's where your brain goes to work, processing emotions, consolidating all the memories from the day, organizing everything. It's pretty incredible.
Wow, so even when we're out cold, our brains are working overtime. I mean, it makes sense. You wake up feeling refreshed, ready to go.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Speaking of brains working, I read somewhere that when we learn something new, the amount of REM sleep we get actually increases. Like our brains are trying to hold on to that information, you know?
Yeah, that was from a Harvard study. Really fascinating stuff. The thinking is that during REM sleep, our brains hit save on new information. Like it's transferring it from short-term memory to long-term memory.
So that thing where you cram for a test right before bed might actually work.
Well, the jury's still out on the whole cramming thing, but yeah, that's the idea. REM sleep helps make those memories stick. Deep sleep, though, that's like hitting the refresh button for your body. And then REM is for everything else, emotions, memories, organizing everything you took in that day.
Amazing. So we've got these 2 power players, deep sleep and REM sleep, working together. No wonder we feel so much better after a good night's rest. But what happens when we don't get enough of that restorative sleep? So we've talked about how awesome sleep is, but what about, when we don't get enough? What happens then?
Well, the thing is, if you're chronically skimping on sleep, it's not just feeling a little groggy. It can actually lead to some serious health problems.
Okay, so, like, what kind of health problems are we talking about here?
We're talking about an increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Oh, and obesity is a big one. And that's not even getting into the mental health side of things.
Hold on, hold on. Did you say obesity? Is that why I always crave, like, all the junk food when I'm tired? I thought that was just me lacking willpower.
It's actually your body talking to you, but not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
When you're sleep deprived, your hunger hormones get totally out of whack.
Hunger hormones. Okay, you're going to have to break that down for me.
So there's ghrelin, right? That's the hormone that tells you when you're hungry. When you don't get enough sleep, ghrelin levels go up.
So it's like my stomach thinks it's empty, even if I just ate.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then there's leptin, which is the hormone that tells you you're full when you're sleep deprived. Leptin takes a nosedive.
Ugh, so not only am I hungry all the time, but my body's also terrible at telling me to stop eating. Double whammy.
Exactly. So you're fighting a losing battle against your own biology when you're not getting enough sleep.
That's kind of scary, honestly. But it's not just the cravings, is it? Didn't we read something about, like, sleep deprivation affecting the brain in a similar way to, like, marijuana or something?
You've got a good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well health. They pointed out that sleep loss messes with your brain's reward system.
Reward system? What's that? Like, my brain gives me a gold star for staying up too late.
Not exactly a gold star,
Yeah?
but it's similar to the way marijuana affects the brain, triggering those feel-good chemicals, even when it's not actually good for you.
So I'm basically getting rewarded for making unhealthy choices just because I'm sleep deprived. This is blowing my mind.
It shows just how deeply sleep, or the lack of it, can affect our brains and how we make decisions.
Right.
And the consequences, they go even further than that.
Okay, now I'm scared to ask, but what else is there?
Well, aside from the increased risk of all those chronic diseases we talked about, those intense cravings, not sleeping enough weakens your immune system.
Seriously. So I'm not only tired, I'm craving junk food, and now I'm basically a sitting duck for every cold and flu out there.
This is starting to feel like a public service announcement.
Think about it this way. A well-rested body, it's just better equipped to fight off those everyday invaders. It's like you're giving your immune system all the resources it needs to do its job right. Okay, I'm getting the message. Sleep is super important. But before I totally panic about all the sleep I've probably missed out on over the years, tell me there's something I can do to fix this. Please. All right. You've convinced me. I'm sold. Sleep, it's important. Gotta get enough. But how do we actually make that happen? I feel like life, work, family, everything, it's all designed to keep us up all night.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge in today's world, no doubt. But the good news is there's actually a lot we can do to, like, take back control of our sleep.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Taking back control, I'm in. So what's the secret?
Well, a big part of it is called sleep hygiene.
Sleep hygiene. Is that like washing your sheets with extra lavender scented detergent or something?
Uh-huh, not exactly.
Yeah.
But I like the way you think. It's more about those little habits, the things you do consistently to signal to your body, hey, it's time to wind down. It's like a bedtime routine, but for grown-ups.
Okay, so like a regular sleep schedule. I've heard that one before.
Exactly. Consistency is key. And that means like sticking to that schedule even on weekends.
Ugh, weekends. My sleep schedule's worst enemy. But okay, I get it. Consistency. What else?
Your sleep environment matters too. Make it cool, dark, and quiet.
So, blackout curtains.
Oh,
White noise machine.
you got it. And this one's a big one, especially these days. Ditch the screens at least an hour before bed.
Wait, seriously? But scrolling through my phone, that's like my way to unwind before bed.
I know, it feels relaxing. But those devices, they emit something called blue light, and blue light, it actually suppresses melatonin production.
Melatonin, right. That's the sleep hormone, right?
Bingo. And when that blue light hits your eyes at night, your brain it basically thinks it's still daytime. Not exactly a recipe for good sleep.
That actually explains so much. Like, why I can be lying in bed for hours staring at the ceiling, but my brain just won't shut off. Okay, so no screens before bed, check. But what about those nights when, even with all the good habits, I'm still tossing and turning?
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes, stress or other things get in the way. If you're having like persistent trouble, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to a sleep specialist. There could be an underlying sleep disorder that needs some extra attention.
Okay, good to know. Well, wow, this has really been eye-opening. I have no idea how much science there is behind a good night's sleep and how important it really is for, well, pretty much everything.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? It kind of makes you wonder if not getting enough sleep can really mess with our judgment and our decision-making, like all these studies are suggesting. How much could a good night's sleep actually change how we see the world?
Whoa, that's a really interesting thought. Like, would we make better decisions if we were all well rested? Be more creative, more energized?
It's certainly something to think about. Maybe a well-rested mind. It's not just healthier, but also more adaptable, more resilient when things get tough.
So, better sleep, a better me. I like that. I'm ready to unlock my full potential, one good night's sleep at a time. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the science of sleep. And remember, a well-rested you, that's a force to be reckoned with. Until next time, sleep well.